Gavin Newsom has a serious problem, a brand new and surprisingly dangerous enemy. His crusade to turn California from one of the most gerrymandered states in America into the most gerrymandered in history is starting to backfire. This matters because Gavin has built his entire image on this political gamble, saving democracy by quietly strangling it in broad daylight. Now, a new thorn in his side has him scrambling to hold it all together before the whole thing collapses and his legacy turns into a punchline. He's never looked this desperate to avoid public humiliation. As always, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's take a closer look at just how nervous Gavin Newsom really is right now. So that was from yesterday's totally not billionaire funded, not organized, completely grassroots, spontaneous, and oh so organic No Kings protest. Yeah, because of course hundreds of random beachgoers just happened to gather and then poof, magically synchronized into a vote yes on Proposition 50 formation, complete with a rotating American flag. Yep, totally natural, totally not paid for. But here's the kicker. Gavin Newsom, who, I kid you not, just vetoed a bill to increase the budget for fire prevention, even though half of Los Angeles literally burned to the ground from underfunding and lack of preparedness, has somehow found tens of millions of dollars to bankroll his latest vanity project, completely wiping out Republican representation in California. And that's not even including the other tens of millions he's already funneled into his so-called Trump-proof California initiative. Not to mention the millions more earmarked to provide free legal representation for illegal immigrants. Yeah, because that's where the priorities are. But here's where it gets interesting. That desperation, it's being fueled by his newest opponent, someone actually convincing Californians to vote no. So, let's see who it is.
It's the governor versus the Governator in California TV ads.
Vote no on Proposition 50.
Voting is already underway.
In a battle that will largely redefine Governor Gavin Newsom's future and former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's legacy.
California will be very unique and very independent.
In 2010, 61% of California voters agreed with then-Governor Schwarzenegger and created an independent citizen commission to draw California's congressional lines, taking that power away from politicians.
We must terminate gerrymandering.
Ever since, Schwarzenegger has traveled the country, asking other states to do the same. This year, Texas Republicans went a different way, redrawing their districts mid-decade, hoping to add 5 more Republican seats to the U.S. House.
They fired the first shot, Texas.
Governor Newsom is now asking California voters to approve Proposition 50, which would replace the congressional map drawn by the state's Independent Redistricting Commission with this map drawn by Democrats that seeks to add 5 Democratic House seats.
So California, a state that's roughly 40% Republican, only has 9 Republican congressmen out of 52 total. Let that sink in. Out of 52 seats in the House, only 9 are held by Republicans. Even though 40% of Californians vote Republican, their so-called independent commission is already getting an F grade in the fairness category. But now they want to take it even further, dropping it from 9 seats down to 4. And the best part? They actually have the audacity to be outraged when the Supreme Court steps in to stop racial gerrymandering in red states, while they're busy doing extreme partisan gerrymandering in their own backyard. This is the hypocrisy California has perfected. The entire reason the Democrat Party even exists in that state anymore is because they've gerrymandered themselves into relevance. But listen to this, because the governor-ator himself just called it out. He said this isn't about fighting for democracy. It's about greedy politicians trying to grab even more power. Power for themselves, not for the people.
This is a scam.
Schwarzenegger's only TV interview on this topic was with CNN in September, after posting this to social media: F the politicians, terminate gerrymandering.
It's a big mistake. 2 wrongs don't make a right. It's that simple.
Were you able to convince him?
No, I wasn't looking to convince him.
In this August interview with Fox 11 Los Angeles, I was first to report about a meeting this summer between Newsom and Schwarzenegger talking Prop 50.
I want him to know that we're maintaining it. And I also want him to know if we are not successful with this, There'll be no independent redistricting in this country.
He says that it is temporary. You don't buy what Governor Newsom's saying?
Of course not. Look, I've sat there in Sacramento. I've listened to the politicians for 7 years. They are not interested in giving any power to the people.
The Democrats love to project their insecurities onto Republicans. They say, oh, they're only doing this because they're afraid they're going to lose the midterms. But here's the thing. The will of the people is not on their side. And if Democrats really believed it was, if they truly thought they were the popular ones, they'd have faith that the people's voice, their vote, would be so overwhelming that no amount of Republican gerrymandering could stop it. But they don't believe that, not even for a second. If they did, they wouldn't have to compromise their so-called moral high ground. You know, the we believe in fair maps, we believe in democracy act, because they don't. They don't actually believe Trump is a dictator. They don't think Texas is breaking the law or violating the Constitution. What they do believe is that they were going to be the only ones allowed to gerrymander, and that Republicans, being the ones with principles, who would never fight back. Well, Republicans finally decided to fight back, and they're doing it at the exact moment Democrats are stumbling. They're historically unpopular, and Trump keeps embarrassing them over and over again. It's like when you tell a lie, you've got two choices. You can come clean and admit you were lying, or you can double down and live in that lie forever. And the Democrats, they chose to double down. Instead of saying, hey, we overreacted, Trump isn't Hitler, we just didn't like the guy, they doubled down because their base had already bought the lie. They'd already internalized it. They'd already cut off family and friends because of it. They'd carried the fear, the anger, the confusion, all because of that one big lie. And now admitting they were wrong would destroy everything they've built their identity around. And right in the middle of it all, Gavin Newsom goes on podcasts and says, I don't think we're going to have elections in 2028, while clearly gearing up to run for president in 2028. Even Californians see it. They're saying this whole stunt, it's just a desperate play to fire up his radical base before the next election. Watch what happens next.
What are the stakes of Prop 50?
Yeah, I mean, the stakes are enormous.
Ron Brownstein is a longtime California political watcher. He says Prop 50 passing could boost Democrat chances to win back the House in 26 and Newsom's potential pursuit of the Democratic presidential nomination in 28.
Democratic voters see him as not only being willing, but able to push back against Trump.
Imagine the level of cognitive dissonance you have to reach as a Democrat to actually believe that Trump is a threat to democracy. So what's their brilliant solution? To completely destroy democracy, to save it. And that's exactly why Arnold called this out for what it really is, a cover for politicians to seize more power and control. Democrats don't care about fair representation. They care about control. That's the whole game. And this is exactly why it's the perfect time for Republican states to finally stand up and give themselves a fair and equal advantage. Because we've already seen what Democrat governing looks like under the Biden administration. We cannot and will not allow that again. We can't settle for the status quo anymore. The current Democrat Party, as it exists today, should not be anywhere near power. Their ideology is violent, it's destructive, it's harmful, it's anti-American to the core. And we're done sitting back while they enjoy their unfair advantage, all in the name of social justice. When the party hates everything you stand for, you might tolerate a roommate who doesn't pay rent. But you don't tolerate a roommate who doesn't pay rent and tries to set the house on fire. And that's exactly what's happening now. Let's hear how Republican voters in California feel about Gavin Newsom erasing their representation to basically zero.
These are the 5 Republican members of the House who Democrats are targeting with the new map. Among them, Ken Calvert, a congressmember from California's Inland Empire since 1993.
We're in the city of Corona, which is now represented by Calvert. And Republicans we talked to here are not thrilled at the possibility of being represented by a Democrat.
As a Republican, I don't like that. And it would be the same. I mean, if I were a Democrat, I would want my district to represent me.
No, it's absolutely no. And I have a big sign on my yard.
We find a different view in Venice Beach, one of the most Democratic areas in the state.
I want somewhere where we have a little bit more balance.
I'm very much against gerrymandering. And yet, what are we to do when they've locked up the Supreme Court?
We can't sit back and talk nicely. We've got to roll up our sleeves and fight. So yes on Prop 50.
Newsom and Schwarzenegger both told me that they still have a cordial, respectful relationship. They just have a disagreement on this particular issue.
Go back and listen to what that older Democrat lady said. Just stop for a second and take in the profundity of it. She hates gerrymandering until Gavin Newsom does it. Suddenly, it's fine. She's compromised every principle she claimed to believe in because she's internalized the lie that Donald Trump is a dictator. And it's no wonder so many Democrats walk around angry, bitter, and exhausted. Their obsession with opposing Trump is forcing them to live in contradiction with everything they say they stand for. That constant internal tug of war creates confusion, anxiety, and misery, not because they're truly mad at Trump, but because he's forcing them to confront the truth, that their actions completely contradict who they are. They've built their identity on a falsehood they know deep down isn't real. It's the same pattern you see with radical ideology. You can take all the hormones, get every surgery imaginable, but there will always be that quiet, persistent voice in the back of your mind reminding you of reality, reminding you of who you truly are. And when you live every day denying that truth, that deep conflict eats away at you. It's no mystery why so many stay confused, resentful, and depressed. But the real tragedy is that conniving politicians like Gavin Newsom know this, and they don't care. The erosion of people's sanity is simply the price of their political ambition. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and I'll see you in the next one.